Good morning, welcome to Sports Radio 1310 The Ticket. George DeJohn on the Train Station Fitness Show. We have got a panel of experts for you this morning. Dr. Webster, chiropractor and nutritionist, getting his neurodiplomate. He knows all about your head, can fix you. We've got Dr. Kevin Lipin on the show before, who is a board-certified trauma surgeon, and also he's known as the boobs and butt guy of Dallas. He gives you the Brazilian butt if that's what you'd like. And he also does functional medicine, does some of what Dr. Webster does, hormone testing and helping you to balance your hormones. We also have Tina Burnett in the studio.
Hello.
Hello, personal trainer that I refer everybody to, since I don't do it anymore. I trust her. And today is the All About You show. If you have any questions about your health, you're not attaining your goals that you really are maybe kind of frustrated with, you want to get some free advice, you've got well over $1,000 worth of free advice that'll be coming at you. 214-787-1310. Or we've got the 800 number if you're out of state listening. I know people in Canada are listening also. I got a phone call this weekend, or an email about that this weekend, and I've got some professional hockey players in Canada listening and their wives. So if they want to give a shout, 877-528-1310. So good morning to everybody.
Good morning. You know, our hourly rate just went up since we added Dr. Light.
Oh, you know, I didn't know that.
It used to be
adds more credibility.
It used to be a lot cheaper.
It adds to your load.
It adds to the load. Yeah, the hourly rate probably went up because of adding more credibility to everything you and I are saying.
It probably doubled.
And
It
Tina.
doubled. That's what I was thinking. It doubled, at least.
So, shall we take a first call, or do we have something we want to share with everyone? Thank you for your input. All right, let's go. Let's go to we got.
It's all about me.
Let's go to Bill in Dallas. You're on Sports Radio 1310 The Ticket.
Hey guys, really like your show. Two main questions. The first one has to do with protein. I've heard before that taking high levels of protein, however that's defined, can increase heart attack risk. And the second, kind of a different topic, has to do with the warm-up and stretching before exercising, mainly running in my case. I'll boil it down to this. What would you do if you had to run a 200-meter as fast as you can? What would you do to warm up for that, to prepare for that? And I'll hang up and listen.
Thank you, Bill.
Okay, I'd like to address the protein issue. It's always good. It's always best to get enough protein. You don't want to be deficient in protein. When you say an excess of protein, I don't know how much he was referring to, and I don't know that I've ever heard anything that relates high protein levels to heart attack. Or kidney disease, for that matter. It just doesn't seem to be a fact that it increases kidney risk or cardiovascular risk. Now, I wouldn't say that you want 400 grams of protein necessarily, but if you're working out hard, somewhere in the 150 to 200 grams of protein a day might be appropriate. I know you take about that much, don't you?
Yeah, I do. I take a lot of protein, but let's stay on the protein point for a moment. The protein that I'm taking is obviously a high-quality protein.
Absolutely.
And I want people to recognize this really fast. If you go buy a really cheap protein and you're saying, wow, 24 grams of protein or 35 grams of protein, which I don't think I've ever seen that, but I know some are really high, per serving, and you're saying, oh, it only costs $3 to do this, you're in a lot of trouble. Because you're getting a bunch of fillers and preservatives and things that are not good for you, and in addition to that, you're not going to absorb all of the protein that's in that protein source that you're about to swallow. So if you get a protein, a high quality protein that we've talked about before, undenatured, non-pasteurized, a raw whey protein, you'll absorb all of the protein from the product. So that means you won't have to go through it as much, and you'll be able to get the most amount of benefit from that. Tina, you had a comment on his stretching?
Yes, I am also a runner, and if I was going to run I think you said a 200 meters,
yeah.
That we said. Well, obviously, we've heard before that you don't want to do a lot of stretching before you run because it actually
no stretching
weakens.
Before you run.
Yes, no.
Forget about a lot.
The goal is a warm up. Is just, I mean, literally, I would probably do a very slow jog for at least 10 minutes. If I was going to do, I know with me, if I go out and sprint and I haven't warmed up, I'm going to probably mess up my hamstrings pretty good. So you definitely want to do about a 10-minute slow jog, maybe even do and then pick it up a little bit and do another 400 or 600 and then do your 200.
Hey, Tina, what about what we've always been told, and I'm not a trainer or an expert in this, I've always been told my entire life, you have to stretch before you work out or you're going to injure yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the old dogma, and apparently that's not true.
It's not. What they've found is it actually weakens your muscles become relaxed to the point that they're weaker, and it increases risk of injury, is now what the research finds.
And you know
Plus
what?
you're slower.
And it's not only now what the research finds. I've been on this show 11 years. I've been saying that. How much before this show has that research been out where it says do not stretch before you work out? I mean, before you're doing a run or anything like that. And we got to get to a commercial, but I'll just say this really fast: that when you're going to perform a chest press, the last thing you want to do is stretch your chest. Now you just lose the integrity of the shoulder. Do a chest press, but do it with very light weight, and then build up and build up and build up until you're able to use your weight. So you warm up with the intended exercise. So if you're going to do chest, don't go on a treadmill, right? So coming up with more comments and questions from you, it's the All About You Show, 214-787-714, Sports Radio 1310, The Ticket, George DeJohn, Train Station Fitness Show. Got a panel of experts here for you today. The panel of experts are going to help you with whatever your needs are, your desires are for your health and fitness. Call us at 214-787-1310. or pound 1310 on your cell. Or if you're calling toll-free and you're out of the United States, you want to, or even in the United States, out of Texas, you want to give us a call, 877-528-1310. It's the All About You Show. That's what we're talking about. We don't have any topics today. We are going to discuss something where we left you earlier about protein needs. So we won't necessarily get into more of the type of protein, but protein needs. Last week I did a show by myself and I talked about low testosterone, how we're contributing to low testosterone. I also talked about how it being in an allostatic load, this state that is unhealthy. When you're chronically ill, you're chronically stressed, you wind up using or lowering your testosterone, but needing more protein requirements. You lose muscle mass. In this state, you actually need, I think they said 1.2 or 1.1 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, which is 2.2 pounds. Now, if you did that, I know that might sound all kind of crazy and everything, you would be eating all day. That is the reason for getting a high-quality protein in, so you absorb all of the protein, you can get a drink in you real fast, so you don't have to worry about eating. Who has time for all of that?
Another point I want to make is, it's not just the grams that you eat. It is the actual bioavailability of the protein. For instance, you could eat something like soy protein, which is kind of a junk garbage protein, not to mention the fact that it has phytoestrogens in it. But the protein itself doesn't have a very good amino acid spectrum, meaning that your body is not going to use it very efficiently. So you might have to take in double or triple the amount of soy protein for your body to get the same usable amount as you would from maybe a whey protein or an egg white protein, something that's high quality.
Go say something about the stress earlier. We were just talking about Tina.
Well, we were talking about adrenals, and I recalled a time when I was under immense stress, and I met with Dr. Webster, and I was running kind of because I thought it was going to help my stress, and he said, actually, the running and the excessive aerobic steady state activity out, instead of doing burst training, on the other hand, was basically killing my adrenals and making it worse. And so I'd never heard that before, and I decided it was a great topic because I've mentioned that to clients before, and they think I'm crazy when I tell them that. It's like, oh, but I thought aerobic work was good, and we go out and, and I know a girl right now that I see just pounding the pavement like crazy, and I know she does it for stress, and she gets sick a lot, and I'm thinking of me when I was there, and I thought it's a great topic for Dr. Webster to
Yeah, absolutely. Mention. I mean, if you're out just jogging all the time, all you're doing is just putting another stressor on your system. You think about ancient times. What stress was something that we used to get away from a tiger or a neighboring tribesman. It's the fight or flight response that triggers this stress response. The only way you shut that off is to either do one of those two things. You fight for your life or you run for your life. You never jog for your life, right? You never jog away from the tiger. You never casually box with somebody that's trying to kill you. You have to do it very vigorously, very rapidly, and then it's over within 30 to 60 seconds. Unless you move rapidly like that, your brain never knows that you did what you needed to do to get away from the stress. So that's why I recommend short burst training. No aerobics. Aerobics isn't necessary for anything. I can't think of one thing it's good for other than tearing your body down.
No, it's good for people who do absolutely nothing.